Humans have been keeping cats as domestic pets for thousands of years. The symbiotic relationship between our two species started off as a purely practical one. Cats would hang around the places where ancient humans stored their grain, preying on the mice and rats that came to steal our food. Ancient humans recognized the benefits of having a 24-hour pest control service and started leaving out food to encourage the cats to stick around, and things progressed from there. But the reason the human-cat relationship has lasted, even beyond the invention of traps, poison, and professional exterminators, is because of the value cats bring as companions. There are few relationships in life that are as pure and loving as the one a person has with their pet. The love of a cat is not dependent on silly human trifles such as looks, charisma, or financial success. You don't have to do anything special to be the center of their little furry universe. Though cats are perfectly capable of being family pets, a cat with multiple owners will often pick one specific person to be their special person. Unlike a dog, you can't train a cat to recognize a specific person as theirs. In this video, we're going to look at how cats choose their special people, how you can tell whether that special person is you, as well as some tips that will guarantee that your cat likes you best. But before we dive in, why not subscribe to our channel and join our feline loving community for more videos on how to care for your kitty. How to tell who your cat's favorite person is. Although cats have a reputation for being aloof and standoffish, if you're the lucky human who they've chosen as their favorite person, then they can be very demonstrative. You can tell that you're your furry friend's favorite because they'll always choose your lap to sit on when they want to have a cuddle, and they'll always be extra clingy when you come back after taking a trip away. When you come in from work, they might come to greet you at the door. And when you go to bed at night, they'll want to sleep near you, or for more restless cats, have free access to your room so that they can come and check on you regularly during the night. Your cat's body language is another way that you can recognize who they love. Cats have many different ways of showing affection. One of the most common ways your cat will show affection is by looking you in the eyes and slowly blinking, which you'll sometimes hear referred to as a cat kiss or an I love you blink. If your kitty does this to you with any frequency, you can assume that you are very important to them. Cats will also scent mark by rubbing their faces and bodies against items and people that they consider to be part of their territory. By pressing their faces against you, they activate special glands in their cheeks that release a pheromone scent that is undetectable to humans but very clear to other cats. If your cat's scent marks you in this way, it's their way of telling any other cats in the area that you are their person and that no other kitties can have you. If you're still not sure whether your kitty enjoys your company, try listening to them. Famously, cats signal that they're happy and calm by purring, but they also use the sound to build and strengthen social bonds. If your kitty frequently purrs when they're interacting with you, that's your sign that you're their favorite person to spend time with. How do cats choose a favorite person? There are a few different criteria that your kitty is likely to look for in a favorite person. First of all, the person who your cat is most likely to bond with is the person who interacts with them most when they're a kitten. Your cat's early kittenhood is a time that will inform their personality for the rest of their lives. Good breeders will ensure that kittens interact with a lot of people from a young age, specifically to make sure they don't become unhealthily attached to their primary carer. Secondly, your cat is more likely to warm up to the person who provides for most of their needs. If there's a specific person in the family who always feeds them, or lets them sit on their lap when they want a cuddle, or plays with them on a regular basis, then that person is more likely to be the favorite. Thirdly, and rather counterintuitively, cats are more likely to select a favorite person who isn't too openly interested in being their favorite. If whenever you have friends over, your fur babies seem to make a beeline for the one guest who has allergies or a phobia of cats, this is why. Cats don't like to be grabbed at and picked up too often. They have very strong ideas about their personal autonomy. If they know you well, then they'll put up with this kind of treatment because they love you. But when they're getting used to a new household and dealing with being introduced to strange new owners, they're likely to be less tolerant. In this scenario, well-meaning but overexcited cat lovers can appear intimidating and unpredictable, while the one person in the house who's indifferent to the cat, and therefore isn't trying to compete for their affection, seems calmer and more stable. As a result, they ironically have a better chance of becoming the favorite. So now you know how to tell if your kitty has a favorite person, and the reasons behind that choice. What do you do if that favorite person isn't you? Or if you've just welcomed a new furry friend into your home and are trying to build that bond from scratch. How to become your cat's favorite person. The easiest way to ensure a strong bond with your kitty is to start early, while they're still a kitten, but that's not always possible. If you're adopting an older kitty, then creating that bond is going to be harder than if you're taking in a kitten. But that doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. The most important thing to remember when trying to befriend a cat of any age is to be sure to respect their personal boundaries. Humans can be grabby. It's hard to look at an adorable little cat and not want to scoop them up for a cuddle. But how would you like it if some stranger or casual acquaintance came over and did that to you? To bond with your cat, you have to keep calm and let them come to you. If you want to pet them, start by holding your hand out close to their head and letting them sniff it. Once they've checked out your scent, you can move in, slowly, to gently stroke their head. If they accept your touch, they'll lean into it. If they don't, they'll flinch away, at which point you should back off for a bit so as to preserve their trust. While you're working your way up to cuddles, you can interact positively with your kitty at a distance by engaging in play sessions. Dangling a piece of string or a feather wand and dragging it across the floor for your cat to chase is a great way to kick off a positive relationship, especially with a playful younger cat. Cats enjoy routines, so try to incorporate a daily play session into your day-to-day schedule, maybe right after you come home from work or right before you go to bed. It might be difficult to fit in playtime if you have a busy schedule, but prioritizing quality time with your kitty is an important part of building your relationship. If you take the time and effort to establish yourself as an important part of your kitty's life, then you'll naturally become an important person to them. Keep it up, and you'll be reaping the benefits of feline affection in no time. What kind of person do cats really love? Many people assume it's the one who feeds them. After all, isn't that what we're always told? Pop culture would have us believe our cats only stick around for the free meals, without much real affection in return. But here's the truth. Food isn't the only thing that makes a cat love you. If you've ever worried your cat only sees you as a walking food dispenser, this video will set your mind at ease. We're diving into the traits that truly make cats fall for their humans, and how you can become irresistible to your feline friend. And before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe and join our community of fellow cat lovers for more tips on keeping your kitty happy. Not just food. First of all, let's debunk this food myth once and for all. Your kitty absolutely values you for more than just your ability to feed them. The kinds of people who argue otherwise will often claim that cat lovers are overly sentimental, and may even accuse us of anthropomorphizing our pets and projecting feelings onto them that aren't really there. But in fact, they're the ones who are being unscientific. In a 2017 study, shelter cats were given a choice between 4 kinds of stimuli: some delicious food, some fun toys, an interesting scent, and a friendly human. 50% of the cats went straight for the human, even when it wasn't a human that they knew personally. Less than half went for the food. This study proved beyond a doubt that cats are capable of caring about more than just their next meal, but chances are you've seen evidence of this in your own home. No matter how excited your kitty gets when it's time for dinner, they probably don't get more excited than they do when playing or cuddling with you. What do cats like? We're now going to look at the 5 traits that will most impact whether a cat enjoys a person's company. Number 1. Voice. If you've ever dropped something and seen your cat practically jump up to the ceiling and then run off to the other end of the house, you'll know that cats are not fans of loud noises. This isn't too surprising. Cats have very sensitive hearing, almost 6 times more sensitive than a human's. And so a noise that is loud to us can be deafening to them. As a result, cats prefer people with quieter voices who don't tend to shout or talk too loudly. Being calm is also important. Cats are very sensitive to the emotions of the humans around them, and they can tell when we're getting excited. Excited humans to a cat are slightly unnerving, not least because our voices tend to get louder when our emotions go up. They know that you would never hurt them on purpose, but the fact remains that you are over 6 times their size. An excited human is a human who might be less cautious with their movements and could end up accidentally stepping on their kitty's tail. Surprisingly, they also prefer higher-pitched voices. A cat's hearing is adapted to hear much higher-pitched sounds than a human. A human's hearing range only goes up to 20,000 Hz, whereas a cat's goes all the way up to 64,000 Hz. By comparison, however, the lowest sounds a cat can hear are 45 Hz, while we humans can pick up sounds as low as 20 Hz. This discrepancy is primarily due to the kinds of prey that cats tend to go for. Mice and small birds make high-pitched squeaking or chirping noises, so those are the pitches that cats evolved to hear. Because high-pitched noises are easier for cats to pick up, high-pitched voices sound clearer to them. As a result, cats will often prefer women over men and respond best when talked to in baby talk. Those of you who are looking for an excuse to keep on calling your cat a fuzzy-wuzzy whittle baby without shame, you're welcome. Number 2. Movement. How you move to a cat is arguably more important than how you sound. A lot of kitty communication happens via body language rather than vocalization, and as we mentioned before, they can be very sensitive towards their personal human's body language and what it says about their emotional state. Cats prefer slow, calm movements for the same reasons that you'd probably prefer an elephant stick to slow, calm movements if they were interacting with you. Not only are we gigantic, but from a cat's perspective, we can't see that well. We're shamefully bad at seeing in the dark, to the chagrin of many a poor cat who's been tripped over during their human's nighttime trip to the bathroom. And our heads are so far off the ground that we sometimes risk stepping on them even in daylight. For the same reason, cats often prefer that we crouch down when interacting with them. This makes us much less intimidating. Remember that a cat's go-to way to respond to threats is to fluff up their coat and arch their back to make themselves look bigger. Us making ourselves look smaller, therefore, can be taken as kind of the opposite of that, a sign that we want to be friends. Number 3. Touch. You might assume that cats would prefer to hang out with whichever person gives them the most pets, but that's not necessarily the case. The thing that cats prioritize the most when it comes to being touched is actually whether the human touching them respects their personal boundaries. Cats are very keen on making sure that their sense of autonomy is respected. They generally won't appreciate being randomly pet unless they know the human very well, and will otherwise prefer to hang out with people who give them a chance to sniff their hands first, to make sure that they're on the level. Once you've been given the go-ahead, the next thing to remember is where to pet. Try to stick to the top of the head and the neck when petting an unfamiliar cat. Once they get to know you better, you can move on to the base of the tail. A lot of cats really love being pet on this part of their body, but because it's a sensitive area of their body, they can be touchy when it comes to strangers touching them there. Finally, if you're someone who is more used to interacting with dogs, be careful about how much pressure you apply. People who spend a lot of time with dogs tend to be used to petting harder than cats will appreciate. A cat has a more delicate skeleton than a dog, and so they're less able to stand up to that kind of treatment. If you're in doubt, err on the gentler side. Number 4. Smell. Ultimately, the sense that cats depend on the most when navigating the world around them is their sense of smell. A cat's sense of smell is 14 times more sensitive than yours, and so they tend to be very uncomfortable with strong smells, like those of citrus fruits, or harsh ones, like the chemical smells of cleaning products. If you smell anything like that, then cats are less likely to get along with you. But there are some smells that cats do enjoy. You might be expecting us to say food smells here, but actually, science has discovered that a lot of flower and plant smells can be very good for attracting cats. Flowers like lavender and roses work well, as does mint, which is a member of the catnip family and so often a cat's favorite. Number 5. Attitude. If you've ever had friends over to meet your cat, you'll have noticed the feline tendency to shun all the humans in the room who are desperate to spoil them with snacks and snuggles, and instead make a beeline for the one person in the room who doesn't want a cat to come anywhere near them. Whether it's due to allergies, fancy clothes, or a feline phobia, cats are keen to get as close as possible. Why? Simple. It's an issue with body language. Remember that we said that most feline communication happens through body language? In cat body language, the way that you show somebody that you like them and want to be friends is to sit at a slight distance from them, pretend to be as uninterested as possible in their activities, and only let them know your interest by occasionally glancing across at them, with no eye contact, and then quickly looking away again. This, coincidentally, is the exact same way that humans communicate that they don't want somebody to come near them. From a cat's perspective, when they hang around this person, they're giving them exactly what they want. Why on earth does your cat insist on acting more like your shadow? Aren't cats supposed to be all aloof and independent? Here's the thing, your cat's clingy behavior can mean a lot of things. Some are totally adorable, others might surprise you, and a few could even signal a problem. Let's find out more. Number 1. Rinse and repeat. When you see your cat following you around, the first thing you do is probably coo and give them a chin scratch. They might even get an extra special treat because they're just so cute. You might think nothing of it and carry on your way, but your cat will keep following you, just in case they get another reward. Learned behavior is perhaps the most common reason why your cat is so attached to you. They don't follow you because there's something wrong. Instead, they follow you because they know good things happen when they do. By giving your cat attention when they're always around you, you're actually reinforcing the attachment. Your cat, being the smart kitty they are, quickly realizes that staying close to you means they get food or attention. They're so attentive to your comings and goings that they know where you're going before you get there. If you're heading to the kitchen, they're likely to be sat by the treat cupboard when you arrive. They're not about to miss out on free food. Number 2, you're their absolute favorite. Just like you have a favorite TV show or mobile game, your cat has preferences too. Theirs are more focused on food flavors and cat toys, but they're just as important. They also have favorite people, particularly if there's more than one family member in the house. Your cat doesn't make who their favorite is a secret for long. While some cats just feel closer to one person than others, some cats form much stronger bonds with whoever they consider their best friend. This type of bond is known as imprinting. It occurs when your cat feels such a strong bond of love and trust with you that they always want to be around you. You're their safe place. In fact, they trust you so much that they might even let you tickle their belly or boop their nose. Following you around could be a sign that you're their utmost favorite person of all time. Number 3. Dinner is served. Some cats only follow you everywhere at certain times of the day. They can't tell the time, but they know when they get fed. Your arrival home tells them it's dinner time. They'll follow you all around the house as you settle in for the evening, just to make sure you don't forget the importance of feeding them. You don't need to change out of your work clothes. Their bowl is empty. Your cat might also follow you every time you're in the kitchen too, especially if they've learned that's where they get fed or that they get a treat whenever you're preparing food. That cat chew might be intended to keep them out from under your feet. You don't want to stand on their tail any more than they want it stepped on. But your cat just thinks you're rewarding them for being around you. Number 4. What are you doing? Cats love adventures. Why do you think they nap so much? They have to store all that energy for exploring. Their favorite adventures always include you as their beloved cat parent. You're usually up to something interesting, or maybe just plain weird. Either way, your cat doesn't want to miss a second of whatever mischief you're up to. They even have the perfect view of your meal prep from the top of the fridge. Or they can mull over your odd habit of standing under running water from their safe, relatively dry position in the bathroom sink. Number 5. Clingy genes. The reason why your cat is so clingy might even be simpler than their curiosity. It could be genetic. Your cat's breed plays a huge part in their personality and temperament. They're all individuals, and no two cats are the same. But there are common traits that are shared between different breeds. Siamese cats, for example, are known for being one of the most talkative breeds around. But they're also incredibly attached to you as their cat parent. They just adore you, and they're not afraid to show it. They'd yowl it from the rooftop if you'd let them go outside. If you've ever wondered whether your cat needs another kitten to keep them company, a Siamese does better with companionship. Some breeds, on the other hand, aren't quite so up in your business. A British Shorthair, for example, they're known for following you from room to room while keeping their distance. They tend to be more inclined to avoid loud activity and are content to sit somewhere quiet on their own. This doesn't mean they don't adore you as much as their Siamese counterparts. They're just more reserved about showing their affection. Number 6. You're sitting still. Or maybe the reason is simpler still. If you spend a lot of time stretched out on your bed or the couch when you're at home, you'll likely find you have a furry, purring friend warming your lap. Most cat parents know that if you sit still long enough, your cat will take advantage. They like to spend time with you, whether it's watching you do chores or cuddling during a movie. Cats love to be warm and cozy when they take naps. What better location is there than your lap? Or tucked against your side if they don't want to sit on you. That plush fleece blanket you favor is a winner with them too. It's perfect for kneading into the perfect spot for a cat nap. Number 7. When things go wrong. Clinginess might be cute, but it's not always a good thing. Sometimes it can be your cat's way of saying something is wrong. This is something to keep in mind if your usually aloof kitty suddenly starts to mimic your shadow. Your cat might just be requesting you spend more time with them. If you spend all day at work, they might follow you around when you're at home because they're lonely. This is why adopting a pair of kittens from the same litter is always a good idea. But clinginess can be more serious too. Separation anxiety is the biggest problem, and it's not the easiest one to fix. It's a behavioral issue caused by your cat's fear of being alone. If you do leave them alone, even if you just step out of the room, cats with separation anxiety will panic. They might meow or yowl loudly, or become destructive to relieve their anxiety. They might even hurt themselves while they're fretting about being alone. There are some medical conditions that can cause clinginess in cats too. They might be seeking reassurance because they're in pain or feeling ill. If their fur starts looking unkempt or they go off their food, take them to a vet. Number 8. Senior citizens. Nobody likes to think about their cat aging, but it's sadly inevitable. For many cats, age brings its own trials and tribulations. They might become more attached to you as they get older because they start to develop health issues that make the world a little scarier. Senior cats are more prone to developing physical conditions like arthritis, or they might start losing their sight or hearing. They might spend more time with you because you're a calm, reassuring, and familiar presence. Some aging cats also develop cognitive decline or dementia. Spending time with you, in this case, helps them feel safe. When it's time to worry. Most of the time, you don't need to worry about your cat being attached to you. Some cats are just naturally clingy. As we said earlier, they're also incredibly curious creatures, and when it comes to their favorite person, they always want to know what you're up to. Following you around is just normal behavior for them. They get to keep tabs on you and maybe sneak a few treats out of you while they're at it. If it's coming up to their usual dinner time, they're likely just hoping to be fed early. As we mentioned earlier, there are times when you do need to worry about clinginess in your cat though. Normal, clingy behavior doesn't mean your cat is frightened of being alone. They're content when you leave them at home, which is important to remember. Many confident cats just curl up for a nap. Following you around just means they like to spend time with you too. Following you everywhere is a bit like how kittens follow their mother. You might wonder how your cat sees you in this case. Are you a cat whisperer? Do you have a way with these mysterious animals? Some people just have the magic touch when it comes to communicating with our kitties. They instinctively seem to know how to get cats to trust them. It's like they've got some kind of superpower. But how do you tell if you truly too have this strange ability? In this video, we're going to be looking at 15 signs that you can look out for, which will tell you for certain that you are a cat whisperer. But before we dive in, why not subscribe and join our feline-loving community for more tips and tricks to help you care for your cat? Sign number 1. Countless cat parents every year fall into the dreaded tummy trap. You see your fur baby lying on their back, exposing that adorably fluffy tummy, and you just can't resist the urge to lean over and start stroking it. For most people, the next thing they know, they're getting unexpectedly clawed. Many victims of this assume that the whole thing must be some kind of deliberate setup on the cat's part, designed to lure the poor human in with a false sense of security, only to pounce the moment their guard is down. In reality, however, from the cat's perspective, the person touching them is the one who's in the wrong, and their own behavior is completely reasonable. A cat's belly is the most vulnerable part of their body, since it shields their vulnerable vital organs. To a cat, exposing their belly is a sign of extreme trust. They're saying, "I love you enough to be vulnerable around you." Their human immediately deciding to try touching them there, for most cats, is a pretty big betrayal after this major show of trust. So what does it mean then when your fur baby does let you touch their tummy? Well, a cat will generally only let a human touch their belly if they have an extremely close bond with them. If your cat lets you do this, then it's a sign that you are a true cat whisperer. Sign number 2. We all love meeting a strange cat when we're out and about. You're just walking around, going about your daily business, when suddenly, free kitty cuddles. Who doesn't enjoy that? For some people, however, this is a more common experience than it is for others. If you have a tendency to happen upon strange cats wherever you go and find them unusually friendly towards you, then you might be a cat whisperer. Your feline magnetism is a sign that you have a special quality that lets cats know instinctively that they can trust you. Maybe it's your scent, maybe it's your skill at finding the exact right place to scratch them behind the ears, maybe it's news of your kindness to kitties passing along some kind of feline grapevine. Whatever it is, enjoy it. Not everyone is lucky enough to have this skill. Sign number 3. After you've been approached by a strange cat, what happens next? You might just get a few seconds to pet them on the head before they dart off again down the street. Or you might be lucky, and the cat might try rubbing against your legs for a bit, giving you the chance to have a proper pet before they move away again. If you're a true cat whisperer, however, you might get a more major honor. The cat may actually allow you to pick them up. This is a great sign of trust from an unfamiliar cat. They don't know who you are and have no idea about your personality, but they somehow understand from the first moment they see you that you are somebody who they can have absolute faith in. Being picked up puts them in an even more vulnerable position than lying on their back does. They are completely within your power. If an unfamiliar cat lets you pick them up, then you know that you are a true cat whisperer. Sign number 4. Shh. One of the most precious moments that a person can have with a cat is that moment when you manage to persuade them to lean over and eat directly from your hand. Usually, cats aren't that keen on eating food from a human's hand. Even if they love and trust that human and know that they would never hurt them, cats are very fond of their personal space and generally consider actually eating from a human's hand a bit too far, especially given that putting their mouths close to the human's hand means putting their whiskers next to it as well, which, given the shape of the average human hand, increases the risk of said whiskers coming into contact with human fingers and thumbs. This is generally pretty uncomfortable for the cat because whiskers are very sensitive. A cat who loves their human or is feeling very confident might be persuaded to lick some crumbs off their human's fingers, but taking a treat directly from the hand is something that will only happen if you're truly connected with the cat in question on a spiritual level. Only true cat whisperers will manage it. Sign number 5. Everyone knows that cats aren't easy to train. With time and effort, you can get them to come when called, or potentially show some understanding of the word no. Not that understanding what it means will necessarily get them to stop doing whatever it is, but you can't get them to sit, speak, or roll over on command the way that you would with a dog. Or can you? Yes, you're unlikely to get your kitty to do whatever you ask whenever you ask, but that doesn't mean that you can't teach them to do some tricks. It just takes a very clever cat and a very strong bond between cat and human. If you ever want an easy way to show off your cat whispering abilities, try having a go at teaching your cat to sit or play fetch. If you succeed, your friends will never again doubt your magic touch with our feline friends. Sign number 6. One of the biggest barriers between humans and cats is that no matter how much we may feel like we're on the same wavelength, our feline friends cannot talk to us in human language to let us know exactly what they want. But that doesn't mean that they can't necessarily communicate with us vocally. It just means that we'll have some trouble understanding. Many cats will use different meows with slight variations in tone, speed and pitch to ask for or complain about different things. Most humans won't be able to tell the difference between these different meows, but if you are a true cat whisperer, then you might find that you pick up on them fairly quickly. After living with a cat for a few months, you might even discover that you don't have to stop and think about what the meows mean anymore. Just like how when you hear somebody say, "Please pass the salt," you don't have to stop and process exactly what that sequence of sounds means. When you hear one of your cat's meows, you just instantly process that they're asking you to open the door or give them more food. Your friends might start accusing you of being able to understand cat language. Sign number 7. Sometimes being a cat whisperer can come with some downsides, or possibly an upside if your taste in fashion tends towards cat hair. Yep, that's right. If you're a true cat whisperer, then you're likely to end up covered in fur, especially below your knees. This is because when cats like someone, their favorite way to show it is to mark them with their scent. They do this by rubbing their head against the person's body, allowing them to release a pheromone scent from special glands in their cheeks. A scent that is unnoticeable to humans. You may be relieved to hear, but that signals to any nearby kitties that this human is mine. If you're somebody whose company cats really enjoy, however, then you might find yourself being claimed as the property of more than one furry friend. Multiple cats rubbing against you may be adorable, but it also means a lot of multicolored cat hair on your pant legs at the end of the day. Sign number 8. You know what a meow sounds like and what a purr sounds like, but what do you call a hybrid of the two? Sometimes affectionately referred to as a cat activation noise. This is the short vibrating sound that a cat makes when they see somebody they really love. You might find it reminds you of a creaking door. This is called a trill, and it's actually got a fairly interesting origin. As you might expect from a noise that sounds so much a purr, this sound means that your kitty is very happy to see you. Specifically, it's the noise that mama cats make when greeting their babies. When your kitty makes this noise around you, therefore, they're letting you know that they love you as much as their mama cat loved them. What could be a better sign of feline affection? Sign number 9. Cats are very skittish creatures, having evolved in a world where they had a lot to be skittish about. Big cats like leopards and lions, large constricting snakes, and even giant eagles looking to swoop down and carry them off. These are only some of the threats that the wild ancestors of our fur babies would have encountered on a daily basis. The time that they were the most vulnerable to these attacks, when they were asleep. A sleeping cat would be unable to see anything that might be sneaking up on them until it was potentially too late. And even if they did wake up in time, might be too groggy to run away. As a result, a lot of cats feel an instinctive desire to hide themselves, either underneath something or up high out of reach when they start feeling sleepy. Cats who sleep next to their humans, therefore, are cats who are showing those humans an extremely high level of trust. They're not just saying that they trust us not to attack them, but that they trust us to protect them from anything else that might be coming to try and gobble them up. This is especially true for cats who choose to sleep on their backs or sides with their tummies on display. As we said earlier, cats are incredibly vulnerable when they show their tummies, even when they're awake. Showing them while they're asleep is an even greater sign of trust, and something that only true cat whisperers will likely experience. Sign number 10. What's that? It's a gift. From your cat. Alright, don't get too excited. It's not gift wrapped, and it's not anything that you're likely to have on your Amazon wish list. It's not a new phone or a box of fancy chocolates or even a gift card. It's a dead mouse, or a partially plucked bird, or if you're lucky, one of your socks or one of your cat's toys that your fur baby has valiantly slain and laid out on the carpet for your approval. Yes, we know, it's not exactly what you wanted, but that doesn't mean that you should ignore the thoughtfulness behind it. That's what counts, after all, right? When your cat brings you a gift, that's their way of showing you that they consider themselves to be a part of your social group and a member of your family. Feral cats, who don't have owners to look after them, will often form groups or colonies around a shared source of food or shelter and will regularly bring each other food, especially if one of them is injured or nursing babies. Your kitty knows you're not injured, but they've probably noticed your worrying inability to catch mice for yourself, unless all that standing on a chair and screaming is some kind of long-con intimidation tactic, and want to make sure that you're eating. All cats know that a good cat whisperer is worth their weight in gold, and so they want to keep you healthy. Sign number 11. Do your fingers taste unusually good today? Should you consider moving your hands away from their mouth before you end up never again being able to count to 10 without using your toes? No, don't worry. Your kitty isn't putting their mouth on your fingers and trying to bite them because they actually want to eat you. They're just suckling. This is more likely to happen with very young cats or cats who were removed from their mothers at a pretty young age, meaning that they didn't have time to be fully weaned. Suckling on your fingers is your cat's way of letting you know that they think of you as being like their mother. As a proper cat whisperer, this means that you've managed to gain their full love and trust to the extent that they've begun to see you as a parental figure. Sign number 12. Another equally painful sign that your cat sees you as a parental figure is kneading. Also known as making biscuits, kneading is the name for those rhythmic, pressing motions that a cat makes with their paws, sometimes against you, potentially painfully if they forget to put their claws in. When your cat was a kitten, they would have done this to their mother, kneading her belly to help promote milk production at dinner time. Just like with the suckling, this doesn't mean that your cat is expecting you to feed them, just that they see you as being like their mama. It's a sign of a true cat whisperer, having a cat view you as having equal importance in their life to the importance that their mother had when they were a baby. It shows that you have gained your cat's ultimate trust. Sign number 13. How well can you tell how your cat is feeling? One of the best ways to check is often by looking at their tail. Do you know all the different cat tail positions and what they mean? Let's have a quick refresh. A cat with their tail raised high in the air like a flagpole means that the cat is happy. A cat who has their tail curved, kind of like a question mark, is engaged and ready to play. If the tail is held at half-mast, level with the cat's body, then it means that they are relaxed and content. If it's low down and tucked beneath their body, it means that the cat is sad or scared. And what about tail movement? A cat whose tail is twitching at the very end is saying, "I'm starting to get a bit annoyed," while a cat whose tail lashing back and forth is saying, "I'm really annoyed, back off." If you already knew all those examples of tail talk, then you're a true expert in kitty communication. Concatulations. Sign number 14. When you visit a friend's house, do they ever seem surprised by how their cat behaves around you? Perhaps slightly shocked that you were even able to stroke them without getting torn horrifically to shreds within the first few seconds? Some cats have a reputation for being a bit touchy, and in extreme cases, their humans might feel the need to warn other humans about them before they come round to visit. But you? You might find that these cats warm up to you faster than they do to other people. Sometimes the reason that a cat tends to be a bit scratchy and bitey is because they feel the need to defend their personal space. Most cats are very keen on making sure that their bodily autonomy is respected, and if humans keep trying to touch them unexpectedly, then they may feel the need to try and fight back. If you're a cat whisperer, on the other hand, then you will know how to act around cats. Being quiet, calm, and waiting for them to come to you is the best way to ensure that a cat will respond well to your presence. Before you know it, everyone will be calling you in to help handle their poorly behaved pussycats. Sign number 15. Sometimes what makes someone a cat whisperer isn't something that you can quantify. It's just there. Some people seem to have a sixth sense around our feline friends, an ability to communicate with cats without even trying. If you find that you can get cats to do what you want them to do, and that you somehow know what cats want you to do without knowing why, then that's a rare gift. Even the most loving cat parents have to admit it. Our cats are little weirdos. Just when you think you figured them out, they hit you with something completely out of left field, like staring at you for 5 minutes straight or flopping over in the middle of the room like they've forgotten how to cat. And you're left wondering, why does my cat do that? Well, today we're unraveling the mysteries behind 10 of the strangest things cats do around their favorite humans. From following you everywhere to stretching when they see you, you'll discover what's really going on in that clever little head of theirs. And some of the answers will surprise you. And hey, if you're as fascinated by feline behavior as we are, hit that subscribe button and join our cat-loving community. Let's decode those quirks together. Number 1. The curious case of the cat companion. Wait, are those tiny paws trailing behind you again? Maybe it's the glowing eyes peeking from a corner or the soft thump of a tail as your personal feline detective watches your every move. Why does your cat shadow you from room to room like a pint-sized private investigator? It's not just about food, though they wouldn't say no to treats. Here's why your fur baby might be your constant companion. First, cats are naturally curious. Think Sherlock Holmes on a mission. Your daily rituals, from staring at glowing screens to producing food out of nowhere, fascinate them. Following you around is just their way of studying the weird and wonderful human they live with. Sometimes it's about entertainment. Cats get bored too, and when their toys lose their charm, they turn to you for amusement. Watching you becomes their favorite pastime, and a fair trade for all the times you've watched them. Then there's their love of routine. Cats thrive on predictable schedules, so if your kitty follows you at dinner time, or earlier, they're just making sure you don't forget the most important part of their day. It could also be bonding behavior. By following you and helping with tasks, yes, sitting on your keyboard counts, your fur baby is spending quality time with you. On a practical note, they might just be seeking comfort. Whether it's sticking close to their protector in a spooky shadow or chasing your warmth on chilly days, being near you makes them feel safe and cozy. And let's not forget, you've probably trained them without realizing it. Every time they tail you and you reward them with attention, you reinforce that being your shadow is a winning strategy. But the sweetest reason of all? They just love you. To your cat, you're the center of their world, and following you is their way of showing affection. Number 2. A case of feline flexibility. Big stretch. You've seen it. Your cat spots you, and suddenly they're mid-yoga, reaching for the stars. While it might look like just a morning warm-up, there's much more behind this stretchy move. Here's what it means. First off, Stretching is essential for keeping your cat in peak physical shape. It helps elongate their muscles, maintaining flexibility and preventing stiffness, a skill that would be crucial for survival in the wild. Even if your cat's biggest hunt is for kibble, they're hardwired to stay limber. But stretches aren't just functional, they're personal. When your cat stretches and shows their vulnerable belly or sides, it's a sign of trust. It's their way of saying, "I feel safe around you." Stretching can also be a clever form of communication. Often, they're subtly guiding your hand toward their favorite petting spots, usually at the base of their tail. They're not just warming up, they're giving you a nudge on where to focus your attention. Lastly, stretches can serve as a way to mark territory. By extending their claws or splaying their toes, your cat is leaving a bit of their scent behind, claiming their space in a polite but unmistakable way. Number 3. Feline Fanatics. Ouch! One moment you're petting your cat, and the next, their sharp little teeth are sinking into your hand. Is it a personal attack? Not necessarily. Biting is just one of the many ways cats communicate, and it's not always bad news. Let's decode what those nibbles really mean. Sometimes biting is about fear or distress. If your cat feels threatened or cornered, they might resort to their teeth as a last line of defense. Overstimulation is another common reason. Subtle signs like a twitching tail or quick flicks can mean your kitty has had enough petting. Ignore these cues and you might earn a quick nip. On the playful side, your hand might just be mistaken for a toy. Cats wrestle and bite during play with each other, and your dangling fingers could look like an invitation to pounce. These nips aren't meant to hurt, but cats often underestimate how delicate human skin can be. Biting can also signal discomfort or pain. If your cat suddenly reacts this way when touched in a specific spot, it could mean something's wrong, and a trip to the vet is in order. And yes, biting might even be their version of a love bite. Cats groom each other with their teeth as part of bonding, so if your kitty gently bites you during a petting session, it could be their quirky way of showing affection. Number 4. Behind the mystery. Why does your kitty always insist on sticking their butt in your face? Even if they did want to show it off, by now they must be aware that you've already seen it. Well, you may be aware that dogs have a tendency to sniff each other's bottoms whenever they meet as a kind of greeting. But did you know that your cat does the same thing? You probably don't notice it because most cats simply don't meet that many other cats. It's not like you can take them down to the cat park to watch them socialize. But this behavior is exactly what your kitty is trying to encourage by showing you their butt all the time. For cats, smell is their main sense, just as vision is for humans. When your kitty smells another cat's behind, they are picking up on a pheromone scent that will tell them all sorts of things, from how healthy the other cat is to whether they're on the lookout for a new boyfriend or girlfriend, to even their emotional state. Your weak human nose can't pick up on any of these details, of course, but your cat doesn't know that. Number 5. The Throne Room Chronicles. You know the feeling. You're heading for the bathroom to take care of business or have a quick shower when you notice your fuzzy friend is following you. Why are cats so obsessed with joining us in the bathroom? Don't they understand privacy? Well, you need to understand that cats are not huge fans of sudden movements or unpredictable behavior. They love their humans, but we're grabby and tend to move around a lot, and we're so big and loud. So what's the one situation where a human can be guaranteed to just sit still and let their kitty come to them? When they're on the toilet. Strange as it may seem, for your cat this makes it the best time to ask for pets. When it comes to your cat wanting to join you in the shower, meanwhile, the answer may be a whole lot simpler. Despite the popular idea of cats hating water, some breeds like Bengals or Turkish Vans can be huge fans of it. To these kitties, your shower is like a personal private water fountain. Number 6. Claw enforcement at work. Ouch! You were getting ready for some happy lap time with your cat when they started pressing their paws into your thigh with their claws out. Are they mad about something? Do they want to hurt you? Of course not. Kneading or making biscuits is actually your cat's way of showing that they love you. Your cat would have done this to their mother when they were a kitten, as a way of getting her to produce milk. Your kitty doesn't think you're about to start lactating, but this is their way of letting you know that they think of you as their mommy. Number 7. The case of the missing socks. You're trying to do the laundry, but your cat keeps sitting on your clothes. You're trying to get some work done, but your kitty is curled up on your keyboard. You can't find a matching pair of socks to save your life until you find a ton of them shoved under the couch by the cat basket, and you have to wonder how they got there. It's a sad fact to face. Your cat is stealing from you. Where did you go wrong? Are they trying to seek out things that you aren't providing them? Or has something about your cat parenting skills caused them to crave a life of kitty crime? How does one end up with a little klepto-meow-niac on their hands? Your cat is definitely stealing from you, but that doesn't mean that they're trying to be mean. They aren't just taking things for the sake of it, or even because they've decided that they particularly want to wear your socks or start using your laptop. The real reason is that your fur baby wants these things is because they carry your scent. Cats are very scent-oriented creatures, and things that you have worn or handle regularly are more likely to have this scent. Smelling things that smell like you helps your kitty feel safe and secure because it helps them feel closer to you. Number 8. The secret behind the cat kiss. You're hanging out with your cat when suddenly they lock eyes with you. Already, this is slightly troubling. If you have any experience with animals, you probably know that we humans are pretty weird in our tendency to assume that eye contact means affection. For most species, it's actually a sign of aggression. But then, not only does your kitty seem to be telling you that they don't really like you, but they follow up the insult by slowly closing and opening their eyes, like they're trying to tell you that it's not even worth their time to look at you. What's going on? Are you just super boring to them all of a sudden? Don't worry, your fur baby isn't slowly blinking at you because they're bored, and it doesn't mean that they don't like you. Your kitty isn't locking eyes with you to show that they're angry with you. They're doing it to show that they love you. Making eye contact and then slowly blinking is a sign of love and trust from your cat. The gesture is also known as a cat kiss or an I love you blink, and is basically the feline equivalent of blowing a kiss from across the room. If you want to show how much you love them in return, try slowly blinking back. Number 9. The midnight snuggle mystery. When your cat curls up beside you at night, it's more than just a cozy habit. This behavior says a lot about your bond. Here are the top reasons your fur baby loves to share your bed. First, your cat sees you as their safe space. Being near you helps them feel secure, and your scent soothes them as they drift off to sleep. Second, they're also looking out for you, providing their version of protection. Sleeping close allows them to guard you, mark you as theirs, and alert you to any dangers, even if it's just a shadow on the wall. Sometimes it's simply about warmth. Cats are heat seekers by nature, and your cozy body is the perfect spot to stay toasty through the night. Lastly, your bed beats theirs in terms of comfort. Elevated, soft, and draft-free, it's the ideal place to relax, and sharing it with you strengthens the bond between you and your feline friend. Number 10. When cats roll the dice. Why does your cat flop onto their back and wriggle around whenever they see you? It's a quirky behavior that has puzzled cat parents for ages, and the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. First, rolling around is often a sign of trust. Cats are cautious creatures, and exposing their vulnerable tummy is a bold way of saying, I trust you not to hurt me. It's their ultimate introvert love language, reserved only for those they truly feel safe with. In a cat's world, trust doesn't come easy, so when they roll over, take it as a sign of deep affection, not an invitation to pet. Next, your fur baby might be in a scent-marking mood. Cats are like walking label makers, leaving their scent on everything they own. And yes, that includes you. Rolling around is just another low-effort way of spreading their unique smell, ensuring everyone knows what belongs to them. without even having to get up. Sometimes, though, rolling around is all about playtime. If your kitty playfully swipes at your hand when you reach for their tummy, it's likely they're inviting you to join in on a game. Cats often see this as a friendly fight or mock hunting session. Unfortunately, they don't always realize that their version of fun can leave you with a few scratches. For unfixed female cats, rolling around could be a sign that they're going into heat. It's their way of spreading their scent to attract a mate or finding relief from the discomfort that comes with this phase. Meanwhile, if your kitty seems itchy or distressed during their rolls, it could be a sign of parasites or other skin issues. Definitely a reason to schedule a vet visit. Rolling is also a way for cats to regulate their temperature. Whether they're seeking out a cool surface on a hot day or snuggling up to something warm in the winter, they're using their full body to adjust to their environment. And sometimes, rolling might simply be an attempt to get comfortable when they're in physical pain. If your cat's rolling seems excessive or distressed, it's worth investigating further. Lastly, cats just like certain textures. A soft fleece, smooth tile, or even a favorite patch of carpet can feel amazing on their fur. If your cat gravitates toward specific spots, it could be as simple as them indulging in a sensory experience. Number 11. The ankle files. Ouch! Your ankles are under attack and your cat is the culprit. But before you assume your fur baby has declared war on your feet, take a step back, literally. And consider this, those surprise ankle assaults might not be a sign of aggression. In fact, they're usually rooted in harmless and even affectionate reasons. First up, your cat might be genuinely confused. To them, your feet, especially when hidden in socks or shoes, might not seem like part of you. After all, cats are small and spend most of their time looking up at the towering humans in their lives. Combine that with your constantly moving feet, and it's no wonder they see them as mysterious, moving objects worth investigating. Sometimes, ankle attacks are just your kitty's way of saying, "Look at me!" Cats can find it frustrating when humans ignore their meows, so resorting to a swift ankle swipe is their way of demanding your attention. It's an attention-grabbing strategy that's hard to ignore. Mission accomplished, right? Another possibility, your cat simply wants to play. Cats love chasing, swiping, and mock fighting with their friends, both feline and human. Your ankles might be the closest stand-in for a playmate. While their playful nips and swipes might seem rough to us, remember they're just trying to include you in their games. Strangely enough, biting can also be a form of affection. Cats give each other love bites during grooming sessions, and they might offer the same treatment to their human. While it's not the most charming way to show love, it's a sign your kitty sees you as part of their inner circle. Sometimes these attacks are just part of your cat's routine. If they've bitten your ankles once in a specific situation, like when you sat in a certain chair, they may start associating that scenario with ankle attacks. It's like they've penciled it into their daily schedule. 2 p.m. ankle ambush. For some kitties, your feet are simply irresistible. Human feet, especially sweaty ones, gather a delightful mix of salty tastes and interesting smells. What's gross to us can be a gourmet feast to your cat. If your fur baby's attacks feel more like curious nibbles, this might explain their behavior. Finally, cats are natural hunters, and your feet move in ways that activate their hunting instincts. From a cat's perspective, your shuffling, stepping, and occasional hopping make your feet look like prey on the move. It's hardwired into their DNA to pounce. Boredom is silently ruining your cat's life, especially if they're an indoor cat. While they might look peaceful snoozing the day away, the truth is their natural instincts are being left unfulfilled. Check out this video to find out simple yet powerful ways to bring excitement and adventure back into your cat's everyday routine.